See, you're a wizard with code, right? Your logic is clean, your syntax is, well, perfect. But does it feel like your career has kinda hit a ceiling? Well, the answer probably isn't in your IDE. Today, we are going to unlock the soft skills that separate the good coders from the truly indispensable engineers. These are the skills that actually get you promoted. Let's just start with a tough question, get right to it. Is your code better than your career? It's such a frustrating place to be. You're shipping brilliant, super efficient code, but the promotions, the opportunities, they just aren't matching up with your technical skill. And here's the hard truth. Software engineering isn't just about talking to a machine. That gap between your amazing code and your career goals, it's almost always about how well you talk to people.
I mean, just look at this contrast. On one side, you've got the good coder. They write perfect code, often by themselves, they solve the ticket and move on. Job done, right? But on the other side, you have the great engineer. They don't just write code, they build great products. They don't just work in isolation, they make their entire team better. And they don't just solve the ticket, they dig in and understand the why behind it. This, right here, is the fundamental shift we're going to explore.
Okay, so to make that shift from coder to engineer, you need a framework. And we're going to build one based on 4 key pillars, starting with the one that trips up more brilliant developers than any other: elite collaboration. Seriously, no matter how great your code is, if it's built by a dysfunctional team, it's pretty much destined for mediocrity. Now, when I say elite collaboration, I'm not talking about awkward team-building exercises. It's really a combination of 3 key skills: communicating your ideas with absolute clarity, actively making your teammates better, and, navigating the inevitable emotions of a high-stakes project to build real, unshakable trust. If you can get these 3 things right, your team becomes totally unstoppable. And this isn't about some grand gesture. It's about the small daily habits. It's about writing documentation that a new hire can actually understand. It's giving feedback in a code review that builds someone up instead of tearing them down. It's taking 10 minutes to help a junior dev who's just spinning their wheels. And maybe the hardest one, it's handling tough criticism of your own work with grace. That's what collaboration looks like in action. This really just boils down to one simple but super powerful mindset shift. If your team doesn't get your pull request comment, it is not their problem, it is your communication problem. The default reaction for so many of us is to blame the reader, but a great engineer stops and asks, wait, how could I have made this clearer? That tiny shift from blame to ownership is a total game changer. So, you've mastered working with people. Awesome. Now for pillar 2. Mastering how you work with problems. We're talking about strategic thinking. This is where you make the leap from being a task taker who just closes tickets to becoming a true problem solver who delivers real, lasting value. So what is strategic thinking? It means you refuse to be satisfied with code that just works. You dig and dig for the root cause, not just the quick patch. You become obsessed with simplifying complexity. And you're always thinking 3 steps ahead, anticipating how your change is going to ripple through the entire system and impact your team down the line. Your toolkit for strategic thinking isn't some new piece of software. It's a set of questions you have to ask yourself relentlessly. Before you write a single line of code, you just pause and ask, what is the real problem here? Is my first idea really the simplest, most elegant path forward? Who and what is this change going to affect? Answering these questions first is what elevates your work from just being functional to being truly excellent. All right, our 3rd pillar is all about reliability and trust. It's called radical ownership. This is about the commitment to delivering results, not excuses. It's about being that person your team can absolutely count on every single time. Radical ownership means you see your work all the way through, from start to finish. It means managing your time like a pro, and crucially, it's about proactive communication. Nobody wants to hear, "I'm still working on it," right at the deadline. An owner raises the flag about roadblocks and delays the moment they see them coming. That gives the team time to adapt. And you can start practicing this today with 3 really simple steps. First, track your tasks. Use Jira, Trello, Notion, I don't care what you use, just make your work visible. Second, break down those huge, intimidating problems into small, manageable chunks that you can actually deliver on. And third, master the art of communicating early. The second you think a delay is even possible, you raise the flag. That's not failure, my friend. That is professionalism. And now for our final pillar, the one that honestly powers all the others, a growth mindset. In tech, the ground is always shifting under our feet. I mean, the framework you master today could be a relic tomorrow. Your ability to learn and adapt isn't just a nice to have, it's basically your career insurance policy.
So, a growth mindset is this fundamental belief that you are not a finished product. Your talents, your intelligence, your skills, they can all be developed. It means you see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities, and you see failure not as some personal indictment, but as tuition, the price you pay for learning something valuable. It's the engine of all improvement. So, what does this look like in the wild? Well, it's the engineer who eagerly dives into a new programming language instead of complaining about it. It's the person who stays calm when the project requirements change for the third time this week. It's the teammate who, after a bug takes down production, focuses on the lesson, not the blame. And it's that tiny, powerful word they add to the end of a sentence. I can't do this yet.
Ultimately, this is what it all comes down to, isn't it? Your long-term value as an engineer isn't what you know right now. It's how well and how willingly you learn what comes next. That's what makes you indispensable.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground with these 4 pillars, but just understanding them is only the first step. The real question is, what are you going to do next? How do you turn all this knowledge into actual action? So let's just lock these 4 pillars in one last time. First, elite collaboration, because great software is built by great people. Second, strategic thinking, so you can solve the real problem, not just the ticket. Third, radical ownership, so you can deliver results, not excuses. And finally, a growth mindset, because your curiosity is what will fuel your entire career. Look, don't try to master all of this at once. That is a recipe for burnout. Instead, look at these 4 pillars and just be honest with yourself. Where is my single biggest opportunity for growth? Pick one, just one, and focus on that for the next 30 days. That small, deliberate step is the start of your journey from being just a good coder to becoming a truly great and way more successful engineer.